He was there at the beginning. And every time he talks about the history of Fatima, the history of education in Florida where it began, you know, he lived it. I could sit around with him all night long just to hear the people that he spoke to, why things are done a certain way because so-and-so had a conversation.
I mean, he's often said, hey, look, the only thing they need in the schools is a student and a teacher and instructional materials. They don't need buildings. They don't need all of the other things that people think they need, but those three are the key. And if we take care of that, he will say, then they're going to have a great experience and a good education.
He loves the students in Florida. He's their biggest advocate. He's the most positive mentor that they don't even know about.
I think he brings the why we do what we do, why it is important, why we continue to move forward with it. I think without him, there's a lot of those pieces that would be missing.
He really shifted my thinking about the work that I do, changing it from this is a chore to it's an opportunity to really serve the teachers and students in the district and throughout the state.
I didn't realize the impact that he has on even the content in those books. He's able to guide us and
Yes.
you know, help us with the right questions to ask, the right things to say, negotiation tactics, so to speak, or whatever, when we're speaking with vendors and things like that. And so, again, that example is what I'm most proud of and most grateful for from Mr. Stanley.
It has to be.
I think is our responsibility, all of us, to ensure that what he has done and the hard work that he has done, that we carry it on.
He's a man that deserves a lot of respect for what he has done.
Seeing her work in a crowd, because he is so great at that. When you go to dinner, you know, everybody's busy with the people next to him. Well, not her. No. Even in the middle of the whole dinner, he's up and walking around and bending over everybody and talking to them and whispering in their ear. He just has that touch.
He does.
Herb has a very unique way of making everybody feel when he's talking to you that you are the most important person in the room, and what you are saying is the most important thing to him the moment that you're saying it.
Actually, last year at Fatima, we threw the 20s party, and I'm sitting over to the side, and he comes over, he goes, I need somebody that knows how to do the Charleston. And my head goes down, and he goes, you know how to do it. I see it in your face. And I said, yes, sir, I do. Because you can't tell him no. And he's pulling you out, and he goes, you got to go do that. We need somebody to teach us how to do the Charleston. And then later that night, we all sat around the fire outside, and all of us were sitting around and we were singing hymns. And I'm thinking, my grandmother would be so proud. You got me to do the dance lessons that she forced me to have when I have 2 left feet. And you've got me singing hymns. I don't know what I'm gonna do with you.
I called my wife and she said, well, how did it go? And I said, honey, I think I met the Godfather. And she said, what are you talking about? I said, I think I met the Godfather, the Don. I said, I think I met the Don of instructional materials. I said, and I related the story on how, you know, I walked in and you know, all of these people and everybody just seemed to gravitate in and around him. And, you know, I just got that feeling like, all right, this is the guy I need to know. This is the guy I need to talk to and kiss his ring when I see him.
I was going to my first Fatima meeting, and I was so nervous. And he was a tough boss, and the nice man that we all know today was really a tough boss. And I had to memorize 10 instructional material managers' names and their districts before I got to West Palm Beach. I think that's where it was. And I memorized my names, and I was ready, and I get down there, and I'm waiting for him to quiz me, and he comes up and he says, Judy, let me introduce you to some people. And he stayed by me, and he took me around, and he introduced me to people. And he didn't ask me for the names that I had memorized, but he made me feel special, and he knew I was nervous.
He raises the bar for all of us, no question. No question.
He loves to feed you. I think
Oh,
that's
yes.
kind of cool.
Loves to feed you.
Right? So there's always food involved. Food and
Yes.
drinks.
Food and
usually.
drinks. Is that all you're gonna eat?
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
that all?
Yeah, he's
You
a
couldn't
food.
do better than that?
He's a bit of a food pusher.
Yes, he is. He's a food pusher. So we have to fast for about a week.
Before we come. Yeah.
He was pushing desserts, and I was really full, and I said, oh, can't tempt me with anything on this list. It's just not creme brulee. Within not even 5 minutes, creme brulee appeared in front of me.
He took us to the best restaurants, and it wasn't necessarily the most expensive restaurants, but he showed us such a good time. And we might go to a Cuban restaurant in Tampa somewhere, and because he loves Cuban food.
What words of wisdom would I give Mr. Stanley on his retirement?
Take a deep breath, exhale, all is well, good job, we will continue your work.
I would encourage Herb to continue his wonderful marriage and relationship with Margaret, whom he loves greatly.
Yes, listen to Margaret. She has planned all this, ready for him to be home, ready for them to have some time together and travel, and I am sure Margaret has it all lined up for him.
Let it go. Enjoy, you earn the opportunity to relax and enjoy your time away from work.
You've earned it, you deserve it, and I'm so happy for you. It's really finally happening, and I'm really happy for you.
What's your farewell tribute to Mr. Stanley?
No matter what school you drive by as you're traveling the roads with your wife, know that every one of those students inside those buildings are grateful to you and what you've done for this state.
Hey, Mr. Stanley, thanks for spoiling us. Thanks for making us feel great about textbooks. It's been awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Stanley. Thank you for your wisdom and your support and the dinners and the glass of wine or after dinner drink. Thank you for the conversation and just thank you for everything.
Mr. Stanley, thank you so much for a warm welcome that you have given all us new members as we come on board to learn about the process and what it is that we're here to do.
Thank you so much for all your years and your experiences that you've shared and your kindness and your words of wisdom.
Mr. Stanley, I want to thank you for allowing me the privilege to work at Florida School Book. Thank you very much for the privilege. It's been a great honor to work with you and for you and side by side with you. I appreciate you always being open and receptive to my crazy phone calls and my forgetting things and trying to make it up and trying to work through things. You've been the best mentor that I could ever ask for. You've been giving me a great career. It's a privilege to call you my friend, and I'm going to miss you terribly.
And I want to say thank you for being the role model and gentleman that you are.
Mr. Stanley, I respect you. I admire you. I wish you well. I wish we can continue to be in touch. And I will never forget you.
Thank you so much for all you have done for the children of Florida and for all of us in Fatima. You have been warm, you have been wonderful, you have been a great teacher. You've taught us how to interact with the legislators in Tallahassee, and you have been such an important and an integral part of this group. We will miss you so much.
Herb, I can't thank you enough for all that you have done for Fatima, Florida School Book, and myself.
Herb, I can't say goodbye, but I can say that I'll say ciao, because that means hello, and it means goodbye. But for you and I, it's going to mean hello. And I will see you in the neighborhood, and I'll see you at church. And I wish you all the best. I love you.
Herb, I really want to thank you for the tremendous mentorship you've been for me, and ask that you just leave this company knowing that you've done the best thing you could for it, and that's to teach everybody integrity and teach them how important detail is to get everything done and done right and on time. How you've taught us to be responsible for everything you do, and when there's a mistake, to immediately stand up and say, I did it, and then make it right. So you've taught us all these great things, and we appreciate it.
Herb, thank you for being my mentor in this instructional materials world. I'm very honored to have met you and known you and grown under your leadership. And I would say, continue to have a life filled with love, hope, joy, peace, knowing that your legacy will live on.